Hello, everybody. It is Friday again. Happy weekend. I'm so excited. Today, we are going to do Friday travel trivia, talking about my favorite country to go to, Iceland. So I see I actually have some people in the chat right now, which is exciting because last time it was like 5 minutes before people remembered that it was Friday travel trivia day. So I'm going to say hello to you all. And if you're here, say hi in the chat. My Skies 5D is here from Portland, Oregon. Also a really awesome city, by the way. I've been there. I love all the beer places to go visit. Dexter Tang is here. Oh, that's exciting. He's not out fishing yet. Are you going fishing? I bet you are. My Skies 5D is an awesome channel, has really beautiful nature footage of clouds and rainbows. It makes you feel all peaceful inside. Oh, thanks, Dexter. I'm like showered and brushed my hair for a change. It's really nice. This is probably why I get excited for Friday travel trivia. In the Woods with Wolfie is here. Hello, thank you for joining. 7 people, I'm so excited. It's gonna be a good weekend. This is our first weekend that we don't have anywhere to go or any plans. Our lawn looks horrible, being taken over by clover. So this weekend is yard work weekend for us. I'm just gonna let everybody say hi to each other in the chat, give people a few more minutes to hop on, and then we're gonna go right into the trivia. Dexter is going fishing in 5 hours. Oh yeah, you got to get some sleep. I hope you can come back and watch the replay after so you can learn all about Iceland. Terrell is here. Hello, Terrell. I would like to see you do some Iceland drawings after this. I hope I inspire you. Rabbits are supposed to eat clover. I just learned that clover is edible. I don't know whose video I watched, but they were showing you how to make food out of clover. So if I ever get hungry, I can just go into my backyard. Perfect. I hope you all connect with each other, get to know each other's channels. I wasn't sure. Xenia from Pusa Studios said she might come today, and I know she would clean up on all the questions because they got married in Iceland, so she should know a lot about it. Maybe we should start before she gets here so that you guys can get some questions before she does. Yeah, Interstellar. A lot of the scenes in the movie Interstellar I recognized because they were on those beautiful beaches with those unusual rock formations, and I was like, I've been there. What's the other one they shot there? The movie Noah. I don't know if anybody's seen the movie Noah. It's like a religious kind of movie, but it's very action-packed, and a lot of it is filmed in Iceland as well. Oh, hello, Pusa. They're here. Everyone's in trouble. Happy Lux is here. Stephen Bowman. Oh my goodness, this is going to be exciting. All right, Stephen. Stephen's ready. He wants the first question. So here we go. Friday travel trivia, Iceland. Question 1. I'll start with an easy one. What is Iceland's currency called? What is their currency? Bonus if you know how much their currency compares to the dollar. So, hi Punk J, thank you for joining. I hope you know a lot about Iceland, or you can learn a lot about Iceland. Everyone's still saying hello. That's good. I like it. Dexter, you can always Google the answer too. There's nothing saying you can't Google it. So what is Iceland's currency? I don't have any left. I know when I did, oh, sorry. Stephen got it. Good job, Stephen. I'm going to, okay, I have beautiful butterfly notes today, and I'm going to write Stephen's name on this one. It is the krona, or specifically the Icelandic krona, because Sweden also has a krona, and another place has a krona. And so you have to kind of say Icelandic krona, but that is the krona. It's about 100 krona to $1. So one krona is equal to like 1 cent Canadian, 1.2 actually. So when we were there in 2013, it was about like 1/8 of a penny, but now they've gone up a little bit, but it's still about 1 krona per penny. So 100 krona is about, and this is Canadian, $1 Canadian, because I'm Canadian. So that's what I looked up. Dexter, so he knows Corona. Not quite the same, but I think the Corona is probably more fun. Fuchsia Studios has business there too. So, okay, so they're going to try to not clean the floor with you all. So question number 1 was the Corona. I was going to say I don't have any left. Usually I try and save money from when I travel just so I can have a little bit of currency from each of the places I visited. But right at the end of our trip, we were in the airport and they had a really good sale on. And so we just spent all our money at the airport. Stephen, I know a bit about Iceland because you have to stop there to get to Greenland. Yes, which is funny because Iceland is green and Greenland is covered in ice. I think that's deceptive. And Canadian money is far cooler than the US. You guys, all your money looks the same. That's what I like about Canada. Our money is colored. So even when you're not having your full faculties, you're still able to find the right money that you need. You do not need a visa to travel to Iceland, at least not Canadians. You just hop on a plane and go. And actually, we have direct flights to Iceland right now. So, no, so far Iceland is a very open and welcoming country, and you don't really need to apply at all to go visit. All right, so congratulations, Stephen. Question 1 done. Question 2, most people should know this, I think. What is the most famous hot spring in Iceland? The most famous of all the hot springs in Iceland. Iceland is covered in hot springs. You drive 5 feet and you'll find a new hot spring in the ditch. But what is the most famous of all of the hot springs? It's an easy visit from the airport too. There's your hint. Greenland has all the Precambrian rocks I need. It's killing Pusa not to just shout out all the answers. All right, Dexter. Dexter got it. Yay, it is the Blue Lagoon. Quite possibly one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to. Here's the Blue Lagoon right on the cover of my photo album. Thank you, Stephen. You're sharing the love. That's awesome. So yeah, the Blue Lagoon is right a hop, skip, and a jump away from the, oh my goodness, words. The airport. The airport is not in Reykjavik. The airport is in a different town that starts with an L, and I can't remember it right now. But there is a shuttle that goes directly from the airport to the Blue Lagoon and back. So if you have a layover of a few hours, I would suggest you plan your trip to have a layover of a few hours in Iceland. You can hop on the airport shuttle, go to the Blue Lagoon, spend a little time soaking in the hot spring, and then come back to the airport and go on your merry little way. Pusa says, it's best to book in advance as it is busy to the gills in the Blue Lagoon. I can imagine. When we went there in 2013, it was pretty much empty. So yeah, here is our view of the Blue Lagoon when we went. There's nobody there. There's little bridges, there's little tunnel ways, and you can give yourself a free silica mud face mask. So they do have like a spa at the Blue Lagoon, and you can go get the masks done and massages and stuff, or you could just go into the Blue Lagoon and paste this stuff on your face for free. Bottle Caps made it, and Kane Miles' original songs. Oh, this is so exciting. Hi, everybody. So Pusa says they expanded it since 2013 to accommodate so many travelers. Yeah. I was saying to somebody else last week that Iceland, I think we kind of went there in 2013 before it was actually a popular spot to go. We'd seen a documentary on it when we were in like college, and we've wanted to go to it for years and years. And so we went, and then about a year after we went, it started to like be in the news all the time and on Instagram. And so I think we kind of missed the mad tourist rush. But yeah, there's us looking so fine in our mud masks that we got to do for free. So the Blue Lagoon is awesome. I was pregnant at the time we went, so I was worried about the heat and the temperature. Like, you know, you're not supposed to soak in a hot tub when you're pregnant. But the Blue Lagoon is cool because there's like cool patches and hot patches. So you just kind of swim your way through it, and you'll swim through a really hot patch, and then you'll swim through a cooler patch. And so it was quite safe to go there while pregnant. After being there, you can tell everyone you swam in wastewater of a power plant. Oh, Pusa, you stole my fact. I was going to say that. The Blue Lagoon is not a natural hot spring. It is man-made, and it is wastewater from a power plant. And you can clearly see the power plant when you're there, the big stack of it and everything. So that's my story on the Blue Lagoon. It's awesome. If you have the chance, you should go. The best time of year to visit Iceland. Dexter, it depends on what you want to see. We went in the summer because we wanted to do a lot of hiking and see a lot of waterfalls. And I wanted to see all the vegetation. They have all these like wild lupins growing in the fields. But if you want to see the ice tunnels, which is a really popular thing to see, where like they have tubes going through the ice because of the water running through them, then you can go in the winter. So it's beautiful either way. I went in the summer and I loved it. I also don't like being cold. And we also camped through Iceland. We packed a bunch of backcountry camping stuff in our suitcases, and we just camped our way through Iceland. And it was really rainy the year we went, so a few times we had to take a hostel because I was pregnant and whiny. But mostly we camped, which was really cool. So Dexter, you got question number 2. Congratulations. I'll keep going because last Friday I talked a lot. I'm sorry. It went way over the 45 minutes that I had scheduled for this. Skylark made it. Hello. Thanks for joining. This is so cool. I'm sorry I'm not typing in the chat very much. I just trust you all to entertain yourselves in the chat. And I'm just kind of reading it in the corner of my eye out. If you ask any questions, I'll try and answer them. All right. Yeah, Pusa. You want questions? Ask Pusa Studios. They will handle my questions. Swimming in the pool while pregnant. I was barely pregnant. I was 4 months pregnant. It was perfect timing because I had really bad morning sickness, and I couldn't imagine being stuck on the plane and camping when I was like 3 months pregnant with morning sickness, but I had just gotten over that bit when we went to Iceland, so it was perfect. Okay, question number 3. There is only one main highway in all of Iceland, and what is it called? So really, there's literally one main highway in Iceland, and it has a very simple name. You should be able to get this even if you're just guessing. We drove on it the whole time. Hello, Nathan Likes Drums. Thank you for joining. We're talking about my favorite country in the world, other than Canada, because I live here. Kane Miles, I am coming to the UK in October. I'll be there for a few days. I think we're going to try and hit Stonehenge because we have friends that live really close to Stonehenge. It is not Route 65. It is In the Woods with Wolfie. Got it. Highway 1. I told you it was easy. It's Highway 1 because it's the one highway that they have. So good job, In the Woods with Wolfie. I'm writing your name down. It's also known as the Ring Road because Iceland is an island nation. And if you start in Reykjavik, you can drive Highway 1 all the way around the island. So it's a big ring around the island. And then there's, of course, a bunch of like country roads and F roads that go into the interior. But mostly it's a ring road that takes you around Iceland. For a main highway, for the only highway that Iceland has, it's hilarious. It's like a single lane highway, very narrow, no shoulders. And quite often there will be sheep hanging out on the highway, just doing their thing. There's not a lot of, well, there's fencing in the farmers' fields, but it's kind of old school and rickety. And a lot of the time the sheep will get out and you'll just have sheep on the road. So the speed limit is, I think, only 90. So for a main highway, it's pretty low key. Speaking of sheep, This is the only souvenir I bought from Iceland that I can find right now. And it's my sheepskin. I bought it to go under the Christmas tree because I saw something on Pinterest that showed it under the Christmas tree. And then my cat started to destroy it. So it's just been sitting in a box since we went. But it's so soft and I love it. I might put it on my bed. Anyways, I wanted to show that off. What's the coolest place in Canada? Oh, come to Alberta. Come on, Kane Miles. We've got the Rockies, the Badlands, the Prairies. We've got Banff, we've got Jasper. You got to come to Alberta. Fuchsia Studios, you can answer questions. It's okay. Somewhere there is a sheep in Iceland walking around with no fur, yeah. Or somebody ate it. Okay. Question 3 was Wolfies. Good job in the woods with Wolfie. Question number 4. So there is a famous attraction called the Golden Circle, and you can buy tour packages to go do the Golden Circle. So what 3 main attractions are part of the Golden Circle? What 3 things are you going to see when you do the Golden Circle tour? Because it's a pretty popular tour package. Pusa might know this one. And dinosaurs. I think I missed something. Yuck, I thought sheep were pets. No, they eat sheep in Iceland. Sheep is a specialty. You don't see ice. It's not one of the things on the Golden Circle tour. Like I said, Iceland is not, it's not the land of ice. It's actually the land of, they say it's the land of fire and ice because it is a very thermal country. That's a clue. You might want to Google this one. What are the 3 things that you're going to go see when you do the Golden Circle tour? Which I highly recommend you go do if you visit Iceland. You have 10 watching. That's incredible. That's the most I've ever had for Friday Travel Trivia. That's my wind chime that all my neighbors hate. It's actually missing a bell because one of the neighbors came and took the middle bell from it. Dexter, I would love to visit Asia. I'd like to go see Thailand or the Philippines, something like that. In the Woods with Wolfie gets question number 4. Thingvellir or Pingvellir, or however you pronounce it, National Park, Geyser, and Gullfoss. Those are the 3 things you're going to see when you go to the Golden Circle tour. So it usually starts with Gullfoss, and foss in Icelandic means falls. So it's Gull Falls, basically. And they are incredible. It's a double waterfall, and it's huge, super massive. So here's the first waterfall coming down from the main river, and it tumbles down here into another flat area, and then it tumbles way down into this canyon. And you can actually go stand on this rock right here. There's no ropes, there's no fence. You just go stand on the rock, and you can watch the waterfall tumbling down. Good job. I said you could Google it, Wolfie, so that's fine. Yeah, it took us the whole day, Pusa, to do this tour. We got up in the morning and had breakfast, and then we went, and we didn't get back till late in the afternoon. But we had a really great bus driver who took us through kind of the rural areas and told us so many stories. I learned more than I'll ever need to know about Iceland from that bus driver. So going on a tour, I know it's kind of touristy, but sometimes you can learn a lot from going on one of those prepaid tours. So anyways, Gullfoss is the waterfall, and it's incredible. I don't know if I have a picture of me standing on that low rock. I don't think I do. And then geyser is what it says it is. It's a big giant geyser that explodes every like 10 minutes or so. It doesn't take very long. Oh, and I've lost my spot. So here's geyser. So it's just this big, beautiful blue hole. Like Iceland's a thermal country, so there's cracks that steam all over the place. And then geyser will shoot up like that. And it's pretty cool. You can see the water actually sucks into the hole. and then it pops out. So it's kind of cool. You can see the pressure building as it sucks the water back into the hole, and then it explodes. I am not going to be upset, Pusa. I'm glad you're maintaining this chat room, because I start blabbing and then I forget that there's an actual chat going on. I'm glad you're having fun, Kane Miles, and I hope you learn a lot by the end. Oh, so Pusa, you did it by a car, so you did it on your own. That's why it took you less. I liked the tour. I liked our driver. ATGH, welcome. Thank you for coming. That's awesome. A couple years ago, some moron put pink paint in it. That's brutal. I hate when people ruin those natural things of beauty for everybody else. Like, just go and enjoy the beauty. You don't have to go be a jerk about it. There's an argument about Malaysia in the chat room. Never been, I can't say. Hello, Anita. Thank you for joining. Sorry, Wolfie, you got question number 4. So In the Woods with Wolfie is ahead with 2 points. Dexter Tang has 1 point, and Steve Bowman has another point. And now we're on to question 5. I think I'm doing good for time. Trying not to blab too much. All right. What color are most of Iceland's beaches? And a bonus if you know why. What color are pretty much all of Iceland's beaches have this color? And what reason? Bottle caps. We have a rock quarry lake here on the island. Tourists left garbage and used the lake as a swimming pool. Yeah, and now it's private property. So I hate when idiots ruin it for everybody. Kane Miles, you get a point. Gotcha down. Kane Miles. They are black. Most of the beaches in Iceland are these black sand beaches, and they are, like Pusa Studio says, they are to die for. They glitter in the sun. They look magical from afar. And because they are volcanic, bottle caps, good job. So this is the documentary that we watched when we were in college, my husband and I, that got us interested in Iceland. It was all about how Iceland is basically a giant plug in this thermal vent that goes like all the way down to the mantle of the earth. So I wonder if I will draw it for you. So there's like this plug, there's this vent that goes all the way down, and this would be like the core of the earth. And then Iceland is like this plug right on top. That's Iceland. So it's just a cap on this big magma vent. And in the documentary, they said that it could blow at any second. Like, Iceland is in a precarious position. And we heard that and we were like, we're going. We want to go there. And so it took us another 8 years or so, but eventually we got there. And it is indeed the land of fire and ice. There are thermal vents and cracks everywhere. You walk through the landscape and there's just vents smoking and billowing everywhere. And all the rock is volcanic. And so as it erodes, it turns these beaches into black sand beaches. It's like a big blackhead. Oh my God, bottle caps. You're accurate. Disgusting, but accurate. Yep. So anyways, yeah, so all the beaches are black sand beaches, and they're so beautiful. I should have flagged these pictures in my photo album so I could find them for you. But the best one we went to was in the town of Vik, because it had, like, here's the black sand, but Vik has lots of cool rock formations and caves. There is a national park there called Durlahay Natural Preserve National Park. It's got puffins everywhere, puffins flying through the air. This is the beach where Interstellar and Noah, both those movies, were filmed. So here's me on the black sand beach. It looks like rocks. It looks like a bunch of pebbles, but it's actually sand. It's very fine, silky, smooth sand. So they're very beautiful. So good job, Kane Miles. You have a point. You're on the board. In the Woods with Wolfie. You must go there with a free stopover. You get to have free up to 7 days. Yeah, I would do that again. If we were flying to Europe and we had the chance to stop over in Iceland, I would definitely do that. I would do that overnight even. Now I want to go there. You should. Everybody should want to go to Iceland. All right. I shouldn't have said blackhead because now they're going to show me. Yes, YouTube is listening. Now you're going to get a bunch of acne treatment stuff. Okay. Question number 6. I love this. Pusa, you'll know this one. What disgusting, in my opinion, what disgusting traditional Icelandic food is eaten traditionally on Christmas? Iceland has a lot of disgusting food, but this one is traditionally served at Christmas time. So you might need to Google the name for this if you want to find me the Icelandic name, but you can also just tell me what it is, what it's made out of. This might make you not want to go to Iceland now. It's not seaweed. And bottle caps, you're really close. Can you get specific with what kind of fish it is? It is rotten. Well, it's not even really rotten. I'll explain. But I would accept that. So bottle caps is the closest so far. Should I give it to him? Should I be nice? Okay, I'll be nice. Even though blackhead, he talked about blackheads on my stream. It is not rotten. It is fermented, but I would assume it smells like it's rotten. It's not herring, boys. It is shark. It is fermented shark. Just give me the point. I gave you the point. You've got the point. Look, bottle caps in my chicken scratch. Okay, so I didn't eat this. I didn't have the guts. I would have thrown up, but I did learn all about it. Trust me, if it's bubbling, it's rotting. Yep. It does smell like ammonia. This is so gross. Okay, so traditionally, they would take the shark and they would bury it underground to enable it to rot, ferment, without bothering everybody with its smell. But to cure it in the olden days, to cure or ferment the shark, they would urinate on it. So they would pee on their shark meat and then bury it and let it sit for a while to ferment. Then they dig it up and then they hang it to dry for how long? For 4 to 5 months. So it is old, rotten, dried shark with pee on it. But they don't pee on it anymore. They have actually like chemicals and stuff that they put on it now to ferment it. It does smell like ammonia when it's done, and it is still hung and dried for 4 to 5 months. So it is so gross. I was excited to put this question in here because I knew I would get a reaction out of it. It still hangs in fish shacks in Reykjavik by the lighthouse. Yeah, some restaurants actually have it on their menu. You can buy it. So I don't know if it's fresh or do they must can it or something like pickled herring kind of thing. They must can it to have it readily available in restaurants. But yeah, so if you go to Iceland at Christmas time, you can ask for, it's the name for it is hakarl, Hakarl, hakarl. I cannot pronounce any of the Icelandic words. So, but that's what it is. You can ask for fermented shark or you can ask for hakarl and enjoy your meal. Okay, so bottle caps, I gave you that point. Good job. Is it good to go for a first date? Yeah, might have some bad breath afterwards, but might throw up later in the car. First date food. Yeah, I'll take a medium well steak too. That sounds better. All right, that was entertaining. Okay, question number 7. So this place has no town. It has no gas station. It has a tiny little shack that serves fast food, and that's it for the whole area. Yet tons of tourists flock here. It's called Jökulsárlón, Jökulsárlón, Jökulsárlón. And what is so special about Jökulsárlón? Can you find that? If you Google it, you'll see right away why it is so special, and people drive there in flocks. but there's nothing there except for one thing that makes it very popular. I'll type the name here if that helps you. Jökulsárlón. There's a couple other places that are even harder to pronounce. We went to one canyon. It's carved by a river, and the rock is like benetite rock or something, so it carves really easily. And the canyon is amazing, but it's called Fejórarglúdjúfur. I think that's how you spell it. I don't know how to say it. That's how you spell it. Fejórarglúdjúfur. Nailed it. Sorry, forgot to look at the. So Puget Studios knows, but they're not saying what's so special about Jökulsárlón. ATGH, you got the point. It is known for its glaciers. It's actually a glacier lagoon, so that's kind of cool. So right above Jökulsárlón Lagoon is this massive glacier that's, I think they said it's over 800 years old. And as it slides down, it breaks off into chunks, and the little chunks float in the lagoon. And they can be stuck there for years and years and years and years, like 20 years, 100 years. I don't know how long, but some of them can be stuck in that lagoon, floating around for a long time, slowly melting, slowly breaking off into bits. And the only way to escape the lagoon is this narrow little stream. It's not a river. It's not a tiny stream, but it's right in between. And that's the only way the icebergs can escape this lagoon. So they have to be in that lagoon for a long time until they melt enough or break enough to slide out of the lagoon. So when you're there, they have those, I forget what they're called. Amphibious vehicles. Is that what they're called? Amphibious vehicles that drive on land and then can convert into a boat and go through the water. So you can get a tour to go on these amphibious vehicles, and you can float around in the lagoon, checking out these icebergs. And usually on the tour at one point, they'll break off a chunk, and he breaks it into little cubes, and you can eat a piece of 800-year-old ice, and it tastes so fresh. So we got to go do that. I'll show you a picture if I can find it. But it is surreal. It is so beautiful. So here is the lagoon with some of the icebergs floating in it. This is some of them washed up. There's a black sand beach there too, where they go out into the ocean. So you can watch the icebergs escaping into the ocean. When I was a kid, I had a pet iceberg. I had to put it down when I started drinking, so I had ice cubes. Yeah, so here we are standing on some of these little icebergs. It's so neat. It's a really cool place. Here's some more. I just like showing the pictures. And then here's our captain of our amphibious vehicle holding the ice. It's so crystal clear you can barely see him holding it. And then we got to eat our own chunks of it. So it was a really neat experience, and the ice tasted amazing. I don't know if ice has a taste, but this stuff did. It tasted like freshness. So ATJH, you got the Jökulsárlón Iceberg Lagoon question correct. What is going on in the chat? The boatmobile. Black Glacier by Vic is accessible on foot. You can just drive to it and go on top. Yeah, we never actually got to go on an iceberg, a glacier while we were there. We saw a bunch from afar, but I know they do have places where you can go tour on them. And a lot of the glaciers, that's where you can find those ice tunnels and you can crawl through them. They were kind of all melted and they were unstable while we were there because we were there in the summer. But if you go in the winter, you can do that. All right, Dexter, have a good sleep. Thanks for joining in and have fun fishing tomorrow. Don't eat the yellow ice. Good advice, bottle caps. All right. Question 8. I'm going to be right on time for my 45 minutes, I think. I actually sent the kids to the park with a babysitter. That's why it's so peaceful out here right now. It was very pure water, Laj. Laj, L-A-J, I don't know what you prefer to be called, but yeah, it was incredible. 800-year-old purified water. All right, question number 8. Going for a hike in Iceland can actually lead you to jail time or heavy fines if you don't do it properly. Why? Why is hiking so dangerous in Iceland? Any guesses? I gave a little clue on my trailer video if anybody watched that. There's one little moment where I'm doing something with my hand, and that's the clue for this question. Why is hiking something that can cause you to have heavy fines and or jail time if you do it wrong? Dinosaur urine. This one's tricky. Not because they may have to send rescue. It's something that you might do, either purposely or accidentally. It's kind of a hard one. Just think Iceland has some of the most unique and rare forms of vegetation and rock formations in the whole wide world because it is a lava plug, basically. So what might hiking do to it? You know what? I'm going to give it to LAJ 5126 because contamination is kind of the closest guess so far. Because you will contaminate the area. It's not so much contamination, but they have trails. And they are very strict about walking on these trails. Because in Iceland, they have these massive lava fields with rocks that look like bubbles all over the land. It's very alien looking. The sun is getting... Is that better? Yeah, so it's very alien looking. And all of these bubbly column-shaped rocks are covered in a really thick moss. Like the moss is probably that thick. And when it's not raining, the moss turns like this dusty gray. And when it's raining, the moss turns really bright green. But this moss is so delicate because it's so thick and spongy that if you walk on it, you will destroy it forever. It will never recover. It will never spring back. It will actually start to die, and the area around it will start to die too. Yes, a lot of ground is covered with Icelandic moss that is protected, and if you walk on it, you pay a hefty fine. And they're very clear. There's signs all over the place about no off-roading, stick to the trails, don't move our rocks. There's a lot of signs that are hand-painted by people who live there that are like, don't touch our rocks, don't make statues with our rocks. And then you see a lot of statues being made with rocks, but it's because if you start to move these items around or you start to play with the moss, there we go, you will destroy the landscape. So the video where I'm squishing my hand on the moss, it was on a rock that was by the side of the road that was already kind of destroyed and ruined. So I felt like maybe that would be a good place to demonstrate. But all around, there's lots of trails. It's easy to go hike there if you're smart and you're not one of those people that we were talking about earlier that likes to ruin things for everybody else. But yeah, it's almost like coral reefs, but on land. They're just very delicate and easy to destroy. So just for you to know, if you do end up going to Iceland, don't be one of those people that goes off hiking and decides to make their own trail, because you could get really busted for that. So LAJ got question number 8. I don't know if I have a picture. Oh, I guess I do. So here is kind of that landscape. These are the lava bubbles on the lava fields, and there will be miles and miles and miles of landscape that looks like this. And it's all covered in that moss. It's really beautiful. The first day we got there, it was dry and the landscape was all gray and desolate. And then like that night it rained for the first time. And overnight, the whole world, it seemed, turned green. So the moss is really cool. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have admitted that I stuck my hand in the moss. But it was on a rock that was already wrecked, so I don't know. It's probably not Probably not good justification. Do I have Susie nails? Except 2 of them broke, and my nail lady is on vacation right now. Also trolls hiding under them. Yes, we learned that from our bus driver when we were going on our Golden Circle tour, that Icelandic people love their troll stories. There's little, like if you go into a farmer's fields, they have little rock houses and huts set up for the trolls. They have rocks painted like trolls hiding in the bushes. They love their troll mythology. How did I break them? I think just doing dishes. Slaving away in my house. What am I missing? We were actually considering moving there. Yes, I would live in Iceland in a heartbeat. All right, Kane, thanks for joining us. I'm glad you got a point. You got on the board. That was fun. And come next Friday. Okay, question number 9. What vehicle is best to rent in Iceland? If you have to rent a vehicle, what should you probably pick so you can make the best of your trip? Let's buy a dishwasher for Marty. Let's buy a maid. That's better. Then I don't have to touch the dishes at all. A Jeep in the woods with Wolfie. Specifically a 4x4. But they recommend 4x4 Jeeps because you can go down all of the roads in Iceland. So in the woods with Wolfie got that one. So in Iceland, we have the main ring road, which is the highway, and that's fine for every type of vehicle. If you want to rent a little race car, then you're fine with that. But there are roads called F roads in Iceland, and those are the kind of the more country roads. And if you have waterfalls or glaciers or just anything that's kind of off the highway and it's down an F road, you can get ticketed and have your rental car taken from you if you're going down an F road and anything that's not 4x4. So yeah, so you don't need a 4x4 if you're not going to go down an F road, but there was a few places like that canyon that I can't pronounce was partially down an F road. And so we were thankful we'd rented a 4x4 because, I mean, we could have got away with it in a car. It wasn't that bad of a road. But if anybody had come into the parking lot and seen a car sitting there, we could have been ticketed. So if you don't go inland, Pusha says no need for a 4x4. But if you're just going to hang out in Reykjavik and then do some tours, that's fine. But we knew there was a few places we wanted to go that required F-road access. So we rented a 4x4. So that is my personal recommendation. Pusha Studio says it's not necessary, but if you have a plan and you know that plan involves F-roads, then make sure you've got a 4x4 just to be safe because you don't want to get a ticket or get your rental car taken from you. Pusha, you can actually access that from the other side from Galfoss. Yeah, I mean, it's not necessary, but that's my recommendation. So you guys know the roads in Iceland really well, and we were just going off the ring road because that was the most straightforward way. So if anybody wants to go to Iceland and just rent a Euro-sized car, talk to Pusha and have them help you plan out your route. F as in F, I am stuck. Maybe. I don't know why they call them an F road, but that could be it. That's hilarious. Okay. Sorry. Who got that? Wolfie, right? In the woods with Wolfie? I just want to make sure I am keeping track. Yes. I'll write that down. Is that 3 for you, Wolfie, or 4? Good job. You're nailing it. I'm not biting your head off. You've got more experience in Iceland than me, so but we just went the one time and we were on the ring road, and so we knew we were going to need one, a 4x4. But I think Pusha's got a little more insider information than me. All right, our last and final question is, what is a traditional Icelandic house called? So we're not talking about modern houses that are built in Reykjavik. we're talking about the traditional houses that 100 years ago, the Icelandic farmers would build for themselves. Why does my game suck, bottle caps? Is it just because you only have 1 point? But think about how much you're learning and how smart you're going to be, and you can talk about Iceland to all your friends. A hole in the dirt. Halfway there, it's kind of a hole in the dirt. Do you know what the name for these houses is called? Hello, Yankees Outdoor Adventures. I still haven't made your intro video. I was going to make it while I was caving last weekend, and then it was really awkward, and I didn't want to do it in front of a group of strangers, so I chickened out. So my plan to make your intro video fell very flat. I'm sorry. Hobbit houses. A moss home. Nope. Not a hobbit house. Not a moss house. It's not quite a hole in the dirt, bottle caps. There is a name for them. It starts with a T. In the Woods with Wolfie. Got it again. It's called a turf house. It's not quite a hole in the dirt, bottle caps, but it's dug into the side of a hill. It's partially made out of wooden beams. It's partially made out of flat rocks, and it's partially made out of sod. So they would dig these houses into the side of a hill because A, there's not a lot of trees in Iceland. It's it's not flat. They have lots of cliffs and stuff, but there's not a lot of trees anyways. So they would build half their house into the hills so that they wouldn't have to use as much timber. But also because Iceland is very cold half the year, it would help to insulate the house by having it built into the ground. So it was for temperature control and also making it easier to build a bigger sized place. If you go to Skogar, the town of Skogar has a turf house museum where you can actually go inside these turf houses and explore them. So they look like this. So the facade in the front is wood, and in the back, it's all made out of sod. They're very cool. They're very picturesque. I don't know if you can see that. And inside, built into the roof beams, I don't know if I took a picture of it, they stack rocks. They stack a bunch of flat rocks, and that's kind of their roof insulation. So they use just whatever was around them. And they're really cool. You get to go tour around inside them. They're small, kind of stinky. What am I missing here? That wasn't a cave. That was the rabbit hole. Yeah, anyways, so we went to the turf houses, and they were very neat. There's just so many places in Iceland. I could talk about this all day. We went to this one place called Seljaland. Nope, that's the waterfall. Seljavillar Valley. And we walked through this barren field, this one right here. Just this barren rock field, but just around the corner, hiding behind that loop, was this natural hot spring, but somebody had built it into a pool. So there was a change house, there was a pool, and there was about 5 different vents that fed it hot water. So it was this hot pool. It was nice and warm, built right into this valley, nothing else around it. Just a big long hike, and then a change house and a heated pool in the middle of nowhere. And that was Seljavillar Valley. And there's so many waterfalls. Seljalandsfoss waterfall, you can walk behind it. So there's Seljalandsfoss waterfall. You can walk behind the waterfall and sit there for a little while. Oh, hey, Ben, I'm almost done. You missed all my questions, but I'm glad you joined us. Yeah, just if you ever get the chance, you really should try and get to Iceland, even if it's just to stop over on a flight to Europe or a flight to Canada or wherever, and you can make it so that you can have a couple days there. It's fascinating. I love it. So I really wanted to do this stream today and share with you everything Icelandic. And I'm so glad everybody stopped by. I am just over my 45-minute goal for time. But does anyone have any questions, or does anyone hear any stories? You can ask me. You can ask Fuchsia Studios, who knows more than me. My Fitbit just told me I'm lazy. Great. Greenland has more trees than Iceland. Vikings came and took some trees to live, but the main cause of deforestation was sheep. Yeah. And the lava fields too, Pusha. The trees don't grow there because it's so rocky and the volcanic rock hasn't broke down enough to support trees. So the lava fields, which take up a ton of space, they can't support trees until they break down a lot. So the moss has to break them down first. Can someone smuggle me to Iceland, please? I would love to go back. Down the rabbit hole. Sad when we discover a new unspoiled place and we all go there and destroy it. Yes. That's why I wanted to bring up that one question about hiking in Iceland, because it's a beautiful country to hike in, but you need to know the rules so that you don't wreck it for everybody else. You really shouldn't have told me yesterday that you have this live today. I'm glad you could come, Husta. I'm glad everybody could come. This is the most people I've had in my stream. I'm so excited. Everyone's saying hi again. Hi to Ben. It was once said a tree squirrel could run to the top of the tree in New Jersey and not have to touch the ground again until he got to the Mississippi River. I believe that. All right. The sun is getting right in the way. And anyways, it's almost 1 o'clock. My kids are due to come back from the park any moment now. I said I was going to be 45 minutes on here, and I've been 51. But thank you guys so much for showing up to Friday's Travel Trivia. You can't block the sun. And next week, I'll do it again. I'm not sure what country I'm going to do it on, but as usual, I'll put out a promo video on Thursday to let you know what country we're going to do so that you can... there we go. So that you can bone up on some of your information about that country. I have not called you a troll, Bottle Caps, because you have not brought up anything political to fight with me about, even though you know I can't stand politics and I don't like talking about them. All right. Thank you guys for coming. Have a fabulous weekend. I hope you guys do a little bit of traveling and exploring, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.